Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money-taking, the man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying YouTuber in all of YouTube entertainment today, General Zod. And today, I'm going to have my anger on. I'm going to rant. This is going to be General Zod giving a straight up, all out rant. So let's talk about a show I've been watching. If you've noticed, I haven't done reviews. Me and Pop Culture PB will review the rest of the show after the 7th episode airs, which is the last episode of the season. The Joke of Us. I'm sorry, The Last of Us. Let me give you guys context before I get into my angry rant. These are based on video games. I hate the second game that this show is based on. So, when I tell you that I'm coming from a place who doesn't mind them changing it up, I'm serious when I tell you I do not give a fuck about the one-to-one for the game. Okay? I didn't like the second game. I fall in that area. I thought some ideas were good, some were poorly executed, all of that. So I am okay with the changes. And I got to say that because there's this thing with people going, oh, but you're a fan of the game. You want to keep the original. No, I want to explain how much this shit makes no fucking sense. And if you are a viewer of this show, I feel sorry for you because even having context in the game, you would have no clue what the fuck is happening. So, episode 6 is called The Price. And in this episode, this is the episode everybody's been waiting for. Pedro Pascal returns. And I want to just give a couple of positives before I go on my I don't know how long rant of how fucking shitty this episode is. The positives are the visuals and the flashback of Ellie's birthday scene was both acted by Bella Ramsey and Pedro Pascal very well. There's a couple of things in these scenes that are good. The rest of this episode is fucking shit. The character assassination is fucking real. And I'm going to go through all of this. So, what is this episode about? This is all a flashback episode of the argument and kind of the events that led up to the night before Joel would be taken out by Abby. And these are the flashbacks and all the years leading up to where we get to in this point of the story. And starts off pretty good. We get a thing about Joel celebrating birthdays, like her 16th birthday, he gives her a guitar. Her 17th, he takes her her 16th, he gives her the guitar. The 17th, he takes her to the space exhibit. And then I think it's her 19th birthday, which is where we were at before things happen, where he finds her with another girl in his house, by the way, and he comes from a patrol a little late, gets her fucking cake, and he finds his basically surrogate daughter in a room with a girl getting a tattoo, and they're like making out or whatever, which, I get it as a parent. Like, you walk in and your kid's doing shit while you're not home with somebody else, and it's kind of played like he's being unreasonable, even though there's two teenagers basically making out. So I thought that was fucking stupid. But like, it kind of goes through all of these things. And it starts off with this pointless scene, which I get why it's in here, but basically by an actor I really love. He was from Better Call Saul, Tony Dalton, and he plays Joel's father and talks about Joel gets in trouble, and his father tells him a story about how, like, even though he, hits Joel and his brother every now and again, he goes, his dad used to beat the shit out of him, and he hopes that his son does a little bit better than he did. So keep that in your mind, because that stupid fucking dumb point is going to come up later. So we cut back, and now we're in the episode, and we're going through all of these things. And the first thing I want to get out of the way, because there's so much wrong in this episode. The first thing was the Eugene tie-in, and like, look, people have been down on Catherine O'Hara's character, but I think the actress is great. And I don't mind Gail, who is Eugene's wife. What I do mind in this episode is how they choose to use Eugene and the Gail character, and we get a little bit of insight into that. And the issue I have with this is that everything in this episode, and I want people to really watch this and really look at this episode. Everything in this episode is to almost be constructed to get the audience to dislike Joel. That's the only thing I can think of. Hey, what's up? Good to see you, Maddie. Everything in this episode seems specifically designed for you to. I was having a good day till I watched this episode. Is designed for you to fucking hate Joel in this moment. Now, I'm gonna get to the debate thing where Neil Druckmann and fucking Neil Druckmann directed this episode. He wrote it with Craig Mazin and what's her name? Hold on a second. I have it pulled up here because I'm so pissed. Helly Gross. And you can really feel Neil Druckmann's writing in this fucking moment because he's a terrible goddamn writer. This episode felt to me like it wanted to get the normal audience to, I don't know if you hate Joel, but to get these feelings about him, to make his death more palatable, because there was a big fluff, which welcome to our world. That's what happened to us who played the game. At least you didn't have to play a character that you fucking hated for an hour of the game. But that's not here nor there. So they mix up the order to which they give you information. In the game, these scenes are kind of played until the end. Now, I would like to say that I did not like the way information was delivered in the game, but the way they do it in this episode is so choppy, and none of these scenes are like individual and you get them spread out. But in the show, they just fucking throw everything together in one episode. It doesn't flow well. Now, Bella Ramsey's acting is pretty decent in this episode, but because of the time jumps and the way they're supposed to fluctuate the age difference, I'm sorry, I just don't buy her as game 19-year-old Ellie. She was really good in the first season for that time period, but in this stage and the way they've written her character, it doesn't work for me that now she's going to be the murder ninja you play in the game. It's not that the actress isn't fitting the character, it's that the actress doesn't fit the time period for the character right now. But yeah, so they make this whole guitar. You see the Joel playing the future days for Ellie on her 16th birthday. It's a good scene. It's well acted. The space exploration scene, this one was shown a little bit later, this flashback, and I feel like this is what I'm talking about, where they're showing all these flashbacks at once, as if probably Pedro Pascal's not going to be in the third season. So it's really like they crammed all of it instead of spacing it out, like maybe do a flashback this season, do the porch scene flashback like season 3, when you have Ellie and Abby confront each other, so that we have the rest of the context. But they throw it all in this one fucking episode. It is the worst fucking writing I have seen. Like, this is the best worst show I've ever seen. And what I mean by that is the production design, the cinematography, hell, Pedro Pascal's performance in this, it's all pretty good. The problem is the scene and the way the story is being told is absolute dog shit. This has got to be like, I was drinking and smoking and still this fucking episode was terrible to me. Terrible. This episode it felt like it was specifically designed and made to tell us Joel was wrong with what he did, which is bullshit. I like it being ambiguous. I think that, hey, what's up? Thank you for showing up. Welcome to my spoiler review for The Last of Us episode 6. But but when you play the game, I hate to say it, the sequences work better than they do in the show. But I hate the game too, and I thought I would like this change, but they cram everything into one episode, and instead of showing the emotion, they're sitting there telling us the stupidest fucking part. Okay, the part that pissed me off the most as a father. Okay, so Joel comes home early on Ellie's 19th birthday, gets her a fucking cake like he does every year, goes upstairs. She has the door closed. There's this laughing and giggling. He busts into the room, and she's underneath the bed with this other girl getting a tattoo, smoking pot. And he's like, hey, what the fuck is going on here? And it's like, yeah, as a father, if I walk in and my daughter's doing all this shit, my natural reaction is going to be, what the fuck are you doing in my house? And he basically tells the girl to get the fuck out because he's got to talk to his daughter. And this is played up like Joel's the bad guy in this. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? What are they doing in this show? Like, in no world is he wrong for coming in and seeing his like adopted daughter who he loves, who he's surprised by coming home early with a birthday cake, and they're playing it up like, oh, he's the bad guy and he doesn't understand because she's with women. And it's like, it doesn't matter if she's with a woman or a guy. You shouldn't be fucking somebody in my house. Like, you're 19. What is going on? Like, this is so fucking contrived writing. I cannot. Thank you for hitting that like and welcome. Hopefully you enjoy this. This is my review for The Last of Us episode 6. You'll hear me rant a bit. I'm just gonna point out what I didn't like about last night's episode. But anyways, so Joel comes in with this fucking birthday cake, catches his daughter doing this, and they make a comment which doesn't work with a scene that was earlier in the episodes. I think it was episode 1, where he basically pushes this guy for saying a homophobic slur to his adoptive daughter. She's dancing with Dina and they kiss, and then he goes, oh, this is a family event, you shouldn't be saying this. So Joel does what any good parent would be like and pushes that fucker down and tells him to get out, don't talk to her like that. But in this scene, then they backtrack on that, and he's like, you're over here with the sex and the tattoos and the drugs right away. And he goes, you're not acting yourself. We'll talk about this later. But they play it up like he's homophobic or something. And that's two contradicting tones, because he defends her in one case, but then you're supposed to believe in this scene he doesn't accept it. And canonically in the game and in the show, even in season 1, it's strongly hinted he doesn't give a fuck. This is the apocalypse. Nobody cares if you're gay or not. You've got so much other shit you're worrying about. There's these fucking zombie things coming for you every day. There's barely food. There's barely water. They got to go on patrols. It's like, this is highlighted and it does not make sense. Now, Timothy Dalton, who's in this, who's a great actor, and the scene with his father, I got what they were trying to say. So his father says to him as the last thing, if you ever have kids, maybe you'll do a little bit better than I did. And I like that. But where they put it in this episode makes no fucking sense and makes the scene fucking pointless. But we'll get there. Holy shit. This was so bad for me to get through. Another good scene ripped straight from the game is when he goes to the museum with Ellie and they go on a space exploration thing. And once again, this scene would work. Now, if you've never played the games, then it wouldn't bother you as much. But this is out of context because this scene is like at the end of the game to give you context to why Ellie is doing what she's doing to get her revenge on Abby. It kind of adds more layers. In the show, it doesn't work because they show it too soon. And they're like speed running these flashbacks as if they just want to get them done. And this has been an issue that I noticed a little bit in the first season. They are rushing through some of these plot points. And if you've never played the game and you're just watching the show, even for people who've never played this game, it's confusing as shit because you're like, whoa, like what's going on? And there's no time to breathe because this season only has 7 episodes. I think the last episode is next week. So they're like, oh, fuck that. We just got to speed run this whole fucking character development and story thing. So they have the beautiful scene. It's nice. She gets on a T-Rex. He takes her into this Space Needle, or the where the astronauts first launched. And it is a good moment. He got her a tape of the Mars landing recorded and tells her to close her eyes, and she pretends she's going into space. And it's a really nice moment. One of the very few good things in this episode, and it's ripped directly from the game. Still out of context, still doesn't make sense in the structure of the episode. So then we get to the big added on, and now this is not in the game whatsoever. I thought this was going to be cool, but it's fucking stupid the way they implement it. So Eugene, who is Catherine O'Hara, Gail, her husband. Okay, so first off, they go to the woods. This is her first patrol, and Joel decides to take Ellie with him. He's going to take her out on her first patrol, which makes sense to why she's so fucking stupid in the other episodes, and I'll reveal them with PB later. I got so many issues. But she goes on, hey, Christine, good to see you. She goes on this patrol, and she's making fucking noise. Joel's trying. This is her first time, folks, and like I get it. Some people are gonna say, "But Zod, she was in The Last of Us 1. She learned on the go. She already knows how to do this." No, not with a city where you have to like find places with food and water, and you have to maybe find survivors. This is like a different thing. This isn't them trying to survive. They're in a fucking community. There's rules, right? So you're trying to keep the people with you alive. And this fucking dumb fucking girl is making all sorts of goddamn noise all over the place, right? And then, like, where they place Eugene, out of fucking nowhere, like a jump scare, this guy just fucking comes out of the woods, and Joel's like, hey, are you okay? Are you bitten? Now, this is where the fucking stupidity reaches, like, its max point, right? So, Eugene's bitten. And of course, Ellie's like, oh no, we got to take him back to the settlement so he could talk to Gail one last time. And it's like, I get what you're doing here, but it makes no fucking sense. And once again, they're trying to paint Joel like a bad guy, when in all actuality, he's like, this guy just got bit. We don't know when he's going to turn. And you want to take him back to the fucking settlement with all the kids and all the children and all the families, and take him back, and maybe he won't turn, maybe he will, and then you got a big fucking problem if he bites other people. But no, in pure fucking stupidity, Joel's like, yeah, go get the horses and we're going to take them back. And I agree with Joel. Like, this is a look at the flowers moment. If you guys like Walking Dead, you'll get that reference, right? When Carol tells the kids to look at the flowers. Fucking, now that's how you do a scene. Anyways, I digress. So he takes them to this beautiful hilltop, and like the acting here is great. The guy who plays Eugene, no knock on the actors here. They're fucking acting their asses off with the shitty material they're given. But he's like, I just want to see my wife again, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, this is important to me. And it's like, okay, I get it. You want to see the person you love. I feel the same way. But also, Joel is right. What if you turn? What if something happens? Well, then you're going to fucking kill everybody just because you want to see your wife one more time. Like, I get what the dilemma is, but it's fucking stupid. So Joel takes him out. There's this beautiful fucking cliff. And he's like, close your eyes and picture your wife's face. Picture what she would say to you. You know, it's kind of like a good way to give this man a send-off. And then, bam, fucking pops him. And then Ellie comes back, and she's fucking pissed, of course, because that's been Bella Ramsey's fucking acting speed. It's either super obnoxious and pissed off, or like young, dumb teen. So anyways, Ellie is not happy, and Joel says, look, we're going to tell his wife that, you know, he died a champ, he took himself out, and he loves her and whatever else. It makes sense, because with victims, you don't want them to have that guilt. But no, the show can't do something logical. No, because they get back, and what does Ellie do? What does fucking Ellie say? Ellie says to Gail, and shout out to Catherine O'Hara. She's an amazing actress. If you guys don't know, she was like in Home Alone. She's a really good actress. She is better than this fucking garbage material they give her. But anyways, she goes back and she's hugging Joel because he tells her the lie, and he's like, you know, he went out like a champ. He wanted you to know he loves you, blah blah blah. And it's like, I get it. You can't tell people, oh yeah, he was scared shitless, wanted to come back here, but I killed him instead to keep the settlement safe. Like, you can't tell survivors that. So it makes perfect sense. But oh no, 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 no. Big girl Ellie in her big girl pants has to come out and go, yeah, that isn't true. Joel shot him. Yeah. And it's like, what the fuck are we doing here? How did this show get so obnoxiously bad? Because it's like, look, Walking Dead is not the greatest show after a certain point, but like after like season 4 or 5, it kind of fell off for me. But at least they did things consistently where it's like, yes, it's a show about survival. There's things you wouldn't do. Fucking Rick wouldn't do that. He wouldn't put up with that bullshit. But once again, I digress. So Ellie comes out, and then Catherine O'Hara, bless her soul, but this is another shit on Joel moment. It fucking slaps him in the face, which I can't get mad at her because that's the natural reaction when some dumb fucking 19-year-old goes, oh, by the way, your husband was shot in the head by this guy. It's like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? Neil, what does this add to the story? And this would be my gripe, because I hear people fucking defend this show, and I got so many fucking hateful comments in my review of the game where I said the story's ass. But goddamn, this story is worse. So this is nothing but character assassination. I can tell you the thought right now. The thought is, people really liked Joel. People stopped watching after episode 2 when you fucking kill the most charismatic lead and leave us with a poorly written version of Ellie. So now you bring Joel back, but you have to fucking shit on him every chance that you get so that the audience can try to connect with our new leads. And the saddest part is, I like Dina, which I didn't in the game. I like her a lot more than Ellie. And I don't mean Bella Ramsey because people have been attacking the actress. Look, it's not her fault. She's got dog shit writing. I don't blame her. She's doing the best she has with the fucking horrible material they've given her this season. But Dina is really well written, and that actress is too good for this show. But at this point, I'm like, what the fuck is the point of following this show? Because I do not like the people that I'm following. And this is the exact same thing that happened in the game, and I like the actress in the game a lot more than I do in the show. And even then, it's like torture trying to get through the game. And this show somehow said, hold my beer, we're gonna make it fucking worse by fucking butchering and massacring every fucking character in one season. Like, last season of this show was considered a great show for good reason. I mean, even the stuff they put in was very well executed and made sense to the story. This is like a confused mess. And this episode proves it. And this is your fucking penultimate episode before the final. So 9 months go by, and we get the fateful scene. The scene where you didn't hear what Joel said to Ellie before his last days. And the argument was tied back to the stupid fucking intro in this, where Joel tells her finally that he killed the people. But then, in the thing that pisses me off the most, he says, they could have made a cure for you, and basically admits he took that away. That's bullshit. And this argument should not be settled like that. It's supposed to be ambiguous for a reason. Now, look, folks, I want to just set this up. If you're here, you've seen season 1. If not, I'm sorry. Maybe I saved you the fucking mental anguish of watching season 2. There was no guarantee they could make a fucking cure. They were going to make a vaccine. Hey, what's up? Good. Thank you for stopping by. There's no guarantee they could make a vaccine. They were going to take a little girl, take out her brain, and try to create a vaccine, maybe. And then how the fuck were you going to distribute it? How are you going to produce? Because This is the end of the world. How are you going to produce the vaccine on a grand scale? But yet I'm supposed to believe that Joel was wrong in saving his surrogate daughter, who he traveled with, and we established and built he loved, that he would fucking die for. You're telling me that this man is wrong, and oh no, she should have just fucking gave up her life for possibly, maybe, kinda a cure. Get the fuck out of here. Even just thinking about that a little bit does not make sense at all. And it pisses me off that now the writers want you to believe that Joel took away Ellie's choice to fucking die. I can't say that on YouTube, to end herself. Like, it's fucking asinine. It's ridiculous. And it's trying to side on one side of an argument so that you can kill off Joel and basically say, oh, yeah, he did shitty things, so, he deserved what he got. No, he didn't. And no matter how many ways this show tries to spin it, there's a large group, myself included, that think that the way it's written is so fucking contrived. But then Pedro Pascal once again gives a great performance, way too good for this show. And, he's crying, and, he says, I did what I did because I love you, and if I had to do it again, I have no regrets. I would do it all over again. And I was like, fuck yeah, Joel. So would I. Fuck that. I got a daughter too. I'd burn that hospital to the ground. I 100% agree with you. And then she says she doesn't know if she could forgive him, but she would try. And that's the last thing that you see before the night that Joel dies. Now, here's the problem with this. The placement of this flashback takes away the impact. And I don't like the game, but it does make sense to put it later because I'm not giving spoilers for future things. This is just talking about episode 6. So I'm not going to spoil anything if you give a shit about this fucking terrible show. But I will say the placement of this scene is later in the game. And so it has a bigger impact because you've been playing the whole game wondering if Ellie forgave Joel, and it's only later you find out that yes, she did before he died. But revealing it at this point in season 2, when we know there's a season 3 that's going to finish this fucking train wreck up, it takes away the emotional impact that moment has because it's too soon and it's smushed with all this other fucking garbage that I don't care about. It's just like, oh my God, I thought this episode was going to be good because Pedro is back, but I got to tell you, like, besides Pedro's acting, Catherine O'Hare, and the great acting that's in this would trick you to believing this is a good episode, but it's not. It fucks the story up royally. It canonically doesn't make any sense. It's too soon. It's too rushed. And it brings down the temple. And it makes me not give a fuck about episode 7, which unfortunately I'm stuck watching because I review this fucking garbage fire of a show, which I haven't done the last episodes because honestly, I don't even know what to say with how bad the writing is. I got nothing. But I'm going to review the season final with PB, and we will go over this entire series. And the sad part is, I actually liked episodes 1 and 2, and I think 3 with what they did for Joel. I thought that was a good episode. And then after that, these other episodes, they gave us more clickers or whatever else, but it just didn't make sense, and it was very all over the place. And that's where this writing is. And there's bits and pieces of episodes that I like, but it's tough for me to get through this. It is so hard. I struggle. Hang in there. So you had a good show. You always had a good show for the last 4 years I've been watching. Thank you. I appreciate that. But anyways, this was, oh my God, this was fucking terrible. So to tie in the intro with his father telling him he hopes he's a little bit better, Joel says to Ellie, I tried my best and I made some mistakes, but hopefully you do a little, if you ever have kid of your own. Hopefully you do a little bit better than I did. So it's supposed to do this theme of generational trauma and things, but it's so fucking rushed and so half-assed that these themes that they're trying to connect just aren't working because it's a disjointed, jumbled fucking mess. And nothing is interlocking the way it's supposed to. It's like trying to force all of these things together. It's like when you take a puzzle piece that doesn't fit, that corner piece, and you're trying to fucking force it in there, but you're bending the corners in order to make it fit the picture, and it just doesn't fit. No matter how fucking hard you try, you can't put the fucking middle piece in the corner because it's a middle piece. It fits in the middle. You can't rearrange the order in such a drastic way without giving us something that connects. Otherwise, you're just trying to fucking force shit together that doesn't work. And that's really the theme of this season, is forcing shit that does not work. There's a lot of messaging that's put in here that doesn't make sense to the story. There's a lot of just terrible character choices that weren't in the game that are placed in here, I guess, for regular viewers, but it just treats the audience like they're idiots. Like, there's so many scenes that they could have had flashbacks for that show us, but instead a character just sits there and tells us everything. And that's not good writing. That's fucking lazy. That's lazy writing. It's a big saying is show don't tell. And this show has been telling for the past fucking couple of episodes, just like everything, which baffles my mind because the first season purposely had flashbacks to show us. Like with the one with Bill from season 1 and the two gay guys and stuff. Like, some people like that episode. I thought it was great. Some people don't. But the thing I respect the most is by the time you get there with Ellie and Joel and you see his fate, you had a full flashback where they showed you the life he lived, which makes it tougher and I thought delivered better than the game, because when you see his fate, it's like, fuck, man, you saw his whole life leading up to that moment. It was great writing. What the fuck happened? Like, seriously, what the fuck happened, man? Like, nothing, and everything's being speed ran like it's a fucking, like, somebody trying to play the game in fast mode. Like, the boom, 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 we gotta get through this shit, keep going. It's like, oh my god. So yeah, that's my review. Episode 6 fucking sucks. I'm giving it a fucking 3 out of 10, and I'm giving it a 3 because the acting is decent, and I don't blame any of the actors. The actors, great. Also, the scene with the museum, that is beautiful, ripped out of the game. Production and art designers, 10 out of 10. The line delivery, acting, 10. The story and the way the scenes are constructed, fucking 3. It's terrible. This is god awful, and I feel bad for people who don't know the game and think that this is the way the game goes, and they're sitting there going, holy shit, the gamers. No, this is even worse for you guys, because some of the shit was added in for the show, and some of the worst stuff was added into the show. So my god, they're doing half adopting the source material and half changing shit. And it worked for the first season, but this season doesn't do it. This ain't it, Jack. This is terrible. This is and really, I've gone on longer than this fucking episode has deserved. But I really had to break down everything so you guys know my in-depth thoughts, because there's some defenders who are going to say, oh, you're just angry because you're a gamer and you want things like the game. No, I fucking hate this game. I wanted them to change as much of the game as they could. I think the game is terribly written. But they, in their attempt to try to make it better, they've made it worse, if that's even possible. Like, I actually am like, holy fuck, maybe the game and not having more of this fucking contrived shitty writing, maybe that was better than expanding on this and trying to fix it. Because the more they try to fix it, the more they're fucking up the order, because now it's barely following the original story, but at the same time is. And so when they put in the scenes from the game, they're not making sense because they've changed the context of the scene. So it doesn't work anymore. So if you're going to put something new in, you've got to add another thing to connect it to that scene. Otherwise, I can picture the audience being like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this doesn't make sense right now. Like, or maybe they're connecting and maybe I'm just an asshole who's ranting. I don't know. But to me, this feels like such a cheap episode. It's emotionally manipulative. It's to get everybody back on board and go, oh, Joel, it's so great. No, folks, this isn't good acting. This is terrible, terrible writing. This is terrible script making. This is terrible. This is terrible scene selection. This is like the things this show has going is it looks good and the actors give a fuck. If they weren't trying, I think this would be more recognizable. Like you would recognize how bad when you stop and think about it, this episode really is. But of course, there's going to be some people who go like, no, Zod, you're wrong. This episode was genius. You don't understand Neil Druckmann's flawless fucking writing. This is just great. I loved it. And if you liked the episode, I am so glad for you. Really, I wanted to like this season. I hope them changing it. I could get into this season and maybe go back through the game and go, you know what? Maybe I was too hard on it. Now that they give me context, it makes the game better. I could go back and go, you know what? Video games can't put all this shit in. I get it. You had to make things for us to play, and now we got the show, and I can watch the show. But no, the show makes me actually fucking like the game a lot more now. I'm like, holy fucking shit. Maybe the game was better when they weren't doing excessive writing and keep Neil away from a fucking script. God, what a fucking pile of shit. Anyways, if you're new here, that's my Last of Us episode 6, penultimate episode, the price you pay for sticking with this fucking horrendous show. I'll go now, and I'm actually happy to be going into work. I'm happy to be not thinking about this fucking shitty episode, and I can't wait for the season final to just, it's like watching this train wreck and you just want to see where it goes. Like, this isn't even a fucking train wreck anymore. This is, the train is on fire and the fucker's coming for people, and there's a fucking nursery with fucking kids and cute doggies and kittens, and it's all gonna fucking crash and explode in a big fucking ball of fire. That's where we're heading. This is like very close to being Game of Thrones season 8 levels of terrible for me. Now, if you enjoy this, great. If you don't and you enjoy my rant, give me a like and share all this stuff. I kind of went off on a tangent. I wanted this video to be like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, but I got so pissed off. I just had so many points I had to go through. It's bad though. It's bad. And thank God episode 7 comes out next Sunday so I can fucking be done with this shit and get back to good TV. I'll be doing Final Destination, the first movie review, because I'm doing my review series. I'll be doing the first movie tomorrow and then 2 after that. And also I'll be doing a review on a good show called Mobland that I started watching. Fucking great show. Check that out. You'll have less of a headache. And a couple of other things that are coming out. There's a couple of horror movies that are coming out that I'm reviewing. If you guys know, I'm a huge fan of Nick Cage, so I'll be reviewing The Surfer, which comes out this week. But yeah, thank you. I will have a great day at work because I won't be thinking about this fucking show. But yeah, my fiance doesn't even watch this show. Like, she only catches when I'm ranting in between. And even her, with her very basic knowledge and just watching things that I've been watching, looked at me and said, that doesn't make any sense. And I said, welcome to my fucking world. No, of this and it baffles me. Dude, this is why the ratings are plummeting. And there's going to be people who said, no, there's review bombing. No, this is genuinely bad. And I hate the talk about review bombing. No, it's just telling the truth. These are things in the script that are wrong. This is just facts. Watch the episode. Don't be tricked by the great acting or the beautiful camera work and stuff. Like, really watch the show, listen to what they're saying, and then tell me if it makes sense, because it fucking doesn't. And that's my problem. And after watching so many good shows and so many good movies this year, and then to go back to shitty writing, I can't do it. It's just, it grates my nerves. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for all of the new viewers. Thank you for leaving me a like. Thank you for watching my channel. And yeah, tell me what you think of The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 6, The Price. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Am I wrong? Am I just a bigot, misogynist, racist, like these fucking idiots are saying if you don't like the show? Because I don't understand Neil's fucking great creative writing. Or am I right? Is this just bad writing? Like, let me know, because I can't be the only person who feels like this is a bad episode. Like, this is a terrible episode of television. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. And as always, remember, there is only one rule here in the fandom zone: kneel before General Zod.